magic on these tapes.
The
That
magic
magic
on
was
those tapes,
ours.
those are ours. But okay, yeah, we're doing this. We're hanging out on StreamYard, but it's just going to be showing a video game that I may just leave it paused the whole time and barely even pay attention to the game.
Oh, good.
That's even better because then it's not even a game; it's just a picture.
Watching video games makes
Yes.
me depressed.
Watching a paused video game, is that better to watch a paused video game?
It is. It is because it means that you're actually not playing the game.
Oh, that's good. What
Not
about
even
Yeah.
seriously
instead
playing
of
the game.
paused? What if it was
It's less gay to show a
Paused.
paused game.
it's a
Paused.
a paused game? That's what it is.
Plus, no one wants to see you play. You can play it without putting it on the screen, and then you're using up all that bandwidth. You don't have to put on the. No one cares about
But
your
you
game.
know what? Actually, now that you mention it, I'm getting so much less done not playing it. Let me start playing it right now.
Let's play the Earthworm Jim.
Yeah, let's play.
No.
That's the,
No,
that's a
dude,
video
I
game you
never
should
want to
stream.
see my own game either. I watch people go like, "Hey, you see this run through?" I'm like, I'm not going to watch that. I did so many run throughs; it's burned in my brain.
The walkthroughs, the let's plays, the long plays.
And long plays and whatever the speed runs.
Yeah,
Yeah, there are
Speed
millions
Yeah.
of those.
there's not a single surprise moment in any of my own work for me because I made it, and you slave over it long after it's dead to you, and you still got to finish it. Every book, everything.
Yes, the
Like I don't want to
cursive
see one panel of this thing. I saw every molecule of that panel when I drew it. When I
it's
wrote
like,
it.
Kanye West, he can't enjoy his own shows because he's the one who has to do them. It's the
Yeah.
great tragedy of
Yeah.
art.
The greatest tragedy of being Kanye West is he can't
Being
appreciate
poor
his own
Kanye.
genius.
Oh man, I heard his leaked gospel album's really good.
Oh, is it? Wow.
Yeah, he's got a cut with I'm not a big rap guy or anything, but he did one with Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre on a new rap album. Man, it is good. This one
That-
cut.
That
Ooh,
sounds
it's
more
a killer.
interesting, at least. At least he's not doing it with Tom McDonald.
Yeah.
Which
Not-
I always
yeah,
hear.
exactly right.
Tom
Ooh,
McDonald, oh, he's a great. I'm not into rap, but Tom McDonald's so good. And it's like, really?
yeah.
Is he?
No.
No.
Yeah. And he destroyed his own face. Who does that to their face and then conservatives celebrate it? Yay,
Well, they
tattoo
give-
your
they give
face.
him
Degenerate.
street cred, though. Street cred is more important than.
Yes,
anything else.
he's legitimate now. Yeah,
Yeah.
street
Blonde
cred is more
braids.
important.
I don't
blonde
even hate
braids.
him. It's just that everything about it just looks so cheap.
Yeah, I don't hate him either. I despise when people put the grills on their face. He has a grill on his
Yeah.
on his teeth. I'm just going like, dude, you're ugly.
It's
It's
to win
like-
the culture war, though.
Oh,
Winning the culture war.
Yeah,
That was
just get a
the-
nice trim haircut and put on a trucker
I was
cap.
going to say
Like
everything about
Ethan
it
over there.
was
Look
too-
at Ethan.
Yeah.
Look
Look at
Ethan, he's
handsome
always
Ethan
wearing
over
a
there.
hat. Ethan is always wearing
look
a
at
hat.
Ethan. Well, what?
Look at him.
Look at
I actually pointed that out.
his dyed
Ethan is
hair.
always wearing a hat because he's clearly insecure.
He should be
about
Tom
his
Arnold's
hair.
fashion consultant.
Everything about him stinks. I'm saying it loud and clear.
Fuck yeah. To quote the wonderful Mel Gibson, everything about him stinks, and I'm seeing it. Yeah, that's what you were referencing. But the we were thinking of actually starting the show with a couple delightful
Go.
songs.
Okay.
Here, you can see this one. We'll play this. The video's not showing, but it's one that was just previously on our channel, so I'll play.
Okay.
You were asking if the clip was real. The audio was added. The audio of the smashing noises was added, but the actual video is real. People still found the stream. But here, let me play this for a second, or a few minutes. He's so mad.
Filthy froggets in his little room, feeling so enraged.
He sure is.
Nerdy toys all around, gonna be his rampage. Common America,
Oh, come in America. What do they have to do?
popular in Japan.
This is the same day.
He's not
they
proud
smashed
of
this
him.
camera.
It's driving him insane. He flips his keyboard and headphones, ready to attack.
Cars dancing in the game.
Smashing his camera to the desk, ain't no turning back. The anger in his face smolders like a fire. Filthy rockets on a mission, filled with J desire. Smash it all, break it down, let your anger flow. Filthy rockets on a rampage, he's a mad homo. Smash it all,
What
make
did
a
the
scene
AI
showing
mean
how
by
he
this?
sees
I didn't even write it. I didn't even give it any prompt. It just came up with it.
I just said make a song about Ethan Van Sciver, and it just came up with the song itself.
It came up with all of this on its own.
It's pretty cool. I guess AI is pretty cool. I mean, especially with AI music, it's a victimless crime because you're not stealing from anyone. Nobody makes the songs anymore.
It's the end of art. It's the end of everything.
Inshallah, extra big ass.
I mean, let's face it. We're talking about music here. Music's been dead.
Yeah, it's sort of like I watched that clip again from World's Greatest Dad, where he's at the beginning, he's driving his son and listening to music, and the kid turns the radio off, and Robin Williams is like, "What's wrong? You don't like music?" And the kid's like, "Music's gay," and Robin Williams like, "Music is gay?" And his kid's like, "Yeah, the only thing gayer than music is the people who like it." And it's like, holy shit, this kid is exactly like me when I was a teenager.
This kid is based.
This kid, he's the hero of the story.
Yes, he's the only real hero. Of course. Even, I mean, Robin Williams' character at the end kind of admits, it's like, yeah, you know what? The whole thing, I just made it all up. And just then strips naked and runs off into the pool. What a great movie! That movie's so good.
I missed it.
You know what I miss is
we were talking about like
the movies
the
you
AI
should watch
music
segment we used to do. Remember that
the stuff that music comes from. A lot of the AI music is basically just from like the same 11 people who write every single song that has ever come out.
The Majestic 12 that writes all of the pop songs. That's what AI is pulling from. It's not stealing from actual artists. It's stealing from Majestic 12, Illuminati, Globinati, whatever. The same tiny handful of people who make all of the music.
And artists are so bad that we have curated the world's worst audience over the last 20 years. So if you don't give them like bad pop garbage, they have been programmed not to like it. So they can't even like good things. You have to keep producing vomit to get a job and to make it and to be successful. Because anything good, they won't even recognize it.
If it's too popular, I'm not going to like it. It's like, other people like that.
We're listening to some song from what was it? I Beg Your Pardon by CanCon or something. It's actually from the 80s. And it's like, it reminded me of somebody reviewing like Human League songs or the Joy Division. It's like, remember when pop music actually had soul and was actually meant to be good? And it's like, I guess I do.
Or not.
Yeah.
No, never did.
It's a massive.
Barely. Little Feat. I like Little Feat. I like Southern rock from the early 70s, mid 70s stuff. You get on a
River Band is good. You know what? Unironically, on the way back from Chick-fil-A, let me tell you, I got a chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A.
Spicy chicken? That means you're a man. Spicy chicken.
Oh, no, I got the regular.
I get the spicy chicken.
I got no pickles on it either. But I was listening to
that's the only other thing in the bag besides a bun and a piece of chicken is a pickle, and you had them take it off.
Yeah, I had them take it off. I did ask for extra mayo, and they're like, "Oh, we don't put mayo on this, but if you go up to the window, you can ask for mayo packets." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll do that," and then forget instantly. It's like, "Oh no, I ruined everything."
My cholesterol.
I got to keep my cholesterol nice and high, but
dry. Well, I want to tell your audience, this is the first time you guys are going to go on camera right now.
That's right. We're finally face doxing. Right
just
now.
For me, just for us, this is a very rare event. I think that's very brave of you guys. Stunning and brave.
I know you're definitely enjoying this. Now, speaking of stunning and brave,
I have so much to look at.
We're so happy to celebrate Ethan Van Sciver's inevitable True Out, and will Nick Rekieta be joining him? I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
Yes, in the sun. Will he be joining us in the sun? No, they won't.
But no, the one thing I was going to say, by the way, on the way back, I was listening to Whitesnake, and I was like, man, these guys were way better than Nirvana ever was.
Yeah.
And
they sing, was it girls? Who? What did they say? What was that?
Was Whitesnake did Here I Go Again on My Own.
That's a good one.
And also Still the Night.
Yeah, Still the Night was also good.
Don't forget about Still the Night.
Motley Crue was better than Pearl Jam. I mean, Pearl Jam. We're talking about
that was how they roped me into buying Battlefield 2042.
Oh yeah, because the trailer for Battlefield 2042 was like a techno EDM dance mix of
Kickstart My Heart.
Kickstart My Heart, yeah, by Motley Crue.
And that got Pat in on it.
Yeah.
He said, "Now I'm buying the game because it's just like the trailer."
That was getting me into it. Yeah, I wanted to get it, but I was going to wait for Pat to.
There's a lot of reasons.
And it sucked. The game sucked.
You sold on the game. Yeah, no, it's a huge. It was the last time I will ever fall for marketing.
Yeah, we're too good for marketing for sure, but except for that one time.
You're like 64 years old, Pat, and you haven't learned that about marketing yet?
67 years young.
You're 67?
Yes.
I will never actually learn.
Here, by the way, speaking of good music, pop music, here is another one.
What ain't so petite, sipping from the grill. Now he's in deep.
He looks like Woody Harrelson there.
Yes.
Oh, he's so stupid looking.
Yes, he looks terrible.
Aging
like Woody
and fast
Harrelson.
forward, his heart skips a beat. Chunky yet funky, his size off the charts, but the world ain't kind when it breaks your heart. Laughing folks, passing, causing and distress.
Why?
Filthy frog gets trapped in a size 10 dress. Filthy frog.
That's the angry Asian. That's the greatest piece of art ever made. Look at that beard.
The beard color.
I forgot about that phase.
Filthy frog. Life's just begun.
Oh, it didn't just begin.
It didn't just. I was told his life had just begun.
That's the thing about AI song. It's suno.com. You just put in a prompt. You log in with your Google account, and it puts in a prompt. You put in a prompt. It's like, make a pop song about Ethan Van Sciver, and then it comes up with all that stuff on its own.
Oh, you gotta train me on that so I can start making my own albums.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's incredibly.
Would I be able to download? Would I be able to upload
easy.
those songs to iTunes and sell them, or do they know it's AI and they go, nope?
I have no idea. That's a good question. I do know that it can never be flagged on YouTube because YouTube lets you get away with saying basically anything if it's in a song, and then also because nobody else has ever made the song. It's not, sampling from any other existing song.
Right. That's what I need. Sometimes I just need a pop song, and I always go and look for a pop song. And it's always like copyright strike if I do it.
All I have
I've
to do
gotten
is just
struck
link
a bunch of times for no reason.
Yeah.
It'll be like, oh, this is from the Beatles. And it's like, nobody's even, this is game music. This is from a video game. This isn't the Beatles.
Yeah.
No, the Beatles. And the Beatles are very litigious.
The Rolling Stones also.
Yeah, the real key is you have to do less than 4-second sample. You can do anything less than 4 seconds. They'll let you do it. Even Rolling Stones and even the Beatles.
But with the AI, you don't even need to do that because it doesn't.
We've been smug waving songs since before that. Before AI even existed, we've been doing smug waves, which is where you just slow down the song by a certain amount, add a bunch of echo, so it sounds like a dead mall.
It still detects that sometimes, though.
Well, it detects it, but it doesn't know what to do about it.
Yeah. Well,
so it can't do anything.
Sometimes it doesn't.
But if you especially take songs that are like not pop songs, it cannot do anything.
Yeah, and then you bully their algorithm and go, "Ha, you can't do anything about that." But then they'll find out new tricks to discover it. Oh.
So are you guys still in the same situation of when I last talked to you when we sent you guys that care package of food a long time ago?
No, we're doing a lot better now.
Are you're working, you're on your feet, you're okay, you're paying bills.
The SWC curse is leeching the life force out of a lot of dummy celebs.
Everything that was going wrong for us is now going good for us and wrong for everyone else. So
that's good.
That's a sign from God.
Yeah, you're the reciprocal of everybody.
God is punishing. Yeah, God. Did you see what God just did to us, man? God.
Charlemagne to God?
You did it.
You're a fucking narcotics agent. I knew it. Oh, wait, no.
But, we're not. We're not a narcotics agent.
But we should.
Okay, so what do you guys... I never watch your show, so other than I see all the Nick Rekieta thumbnails now that I look at it.
Yeah, now that you look, we've been milking it. But, I mean, only because... That's the thing is that we've never been interested in streaming, really. The only reason why we've been doing videos about Rekieta is just because he had that giant meltdown at us first, out of nowhere.
Did he? Was that about the middle-aged men or something? Because I don't even remember because I don't watch his show either, so I wouldn't know what he said.
No, we
about
caught him
you.
lying. We caught him lying, so we called him out for lying, and
Yeah.
he just could not handle it.
Well, it's also the because you're people like you thing, that stuff where he just basically started crying. I played a clip of that recently on.
How long ago was that? Catch me up.
The original time it happened was I was going to say 2019. I actually looked it up. It was early 2020, so it was like 4 years ago. I played a clip.
Wait,
of
aren't
it.
you guys running out of gas on playing like 4 years old? 4 years old.
4-year-old.
Tug, Ethan.
We basically dumped that. We bring it up because it's
people still haven't caught up yet.
Yeah.
But
I bring this up to
people.
Paul.
Yeah, people are just now catching up to what we had been pointing out. And
okay, but the Warski show thing that I did last night, that Warski thing.
Oh yeah, Kino Casino. Did they even ask you about Ethan Van Kruijber?
I think they did. I don't remember. I went easy on him. I didn't see how it was news. They were saying he was a failure. They were trying to jump on a dog pile on him, and I never do dog piles. I despise all.
Well, here we're gonna dog pile you for not wanting to dog pile.
I know. Get on me. You can jump. I like self-deprecating humor. I like if people make fun of me, it's fine.
Well, you
but
from
the idea
Midwest
that like everyone is stunning and brave when the entire internet empties itself all clips on rekieta. And
it's true that it is old news. The Ethan stuff was stuff that you would come on our streams to talk about years ago. So everyone else finally catching up to what we had been pointing out.
Yeah,
it's like
years.
It's kind of played out now.
Yeah, you guys were on. So it was cool when you were the only ones doing it, and then the entire internet jumps on Ethan or rekieta now, and suddenly it's like how can you guys think that you're stunning and brave if it's been like 8,000 years since someone's alleged demise?
When they're jumping on the bandwagon so late.
Well, unironically, PPP is repeating verbatim everything we had been saying about rekieta and Ethan Van Sciver and so on years ago, including, interestingly enough, he said something about Ethan that he didn't even know applied to Eric July.
Yeah, I know. All of it. Everything they say.
Yeah.
It's so weird because, I was on their show, and I opened with the thing that we always talked about and always believed, which is that the audience was worse than anything. The audience.
Yeah, the audience is at fault.
The fans.
Yeah, the real enzyme. Yeah, the audience is what causes this, because if we didn't get attention or money, then all these dog piles wouldn't happen.
Dropped. Yeah, it would have.
And I hated how they all follow each other. And then I go on their show, and the guys, like, as soon as they try and score a point on me, the audience, they're jumping up and down to get the audience to do super chats, and they're getting paid.
Yeah, and
the audience is all like,
super berries.
I support the show, and I support the show, and they'll dog pile me. And I just kind of go, that's the following thing that I hate. I just mentioned on this show.
It's the one
that
thing
I was on,
that was wrong,
and then they all do it.
rekieta would do the exact same thing. And
well, that was also
he would try to use us to do that.
That was the exact thing. I remember reading the chat in the kill stream when we were on there to try and raise awareness about EVS stealing from its customers.
Yeah, because that's
the
all we heard about.
The entire chat was just like, listen to these people. They don't know what they're talking about. And it's just like, we knew better than everyone on there, including what Ethan Ralph tells you to do. You just obey.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, the fans just do whatever the
none of you are creators. We keep seeing that over and over. And I don't.
By the way, I don't have a problem with PPP.
They are not leaders. They are not creators.
Yeah. PPP is. I actually think he is entertaining, but he needs to dump that. He needs to dump that Opsky baggage. He's the Opie of Warski. Is the Opie of Kino Casino easily. Like, if PPP replaced him with like a dog with Down syndrome or something, or a potted plant, it would unironically be a better co-host than Warski.
Well, I know, but sometimes you need that. You need your Ed McMahon who just kind of sits there and laughs, and that's a good thing for a show to have. Well, Andy Richter was never as vocal as Conan. You just need a guy. You need a guy just to look at him and go, "Hey, what do you know?"
What do you think?
He's more like
on Cumtown was Stavros Alkias.
What does PPP stand for?
People's Populist Press. It's not a very good stage name. It's not a good
terrible stage name.
When you just, I mean, people just call him Ashton.
Yeah, too many syllables on the PPP. You can't even. It's hard to even say it.
It should be like P3 or something. Hey, we're look at this free help we're giving him to the way more popular. Will always be a more popular streamer than us.
Yeah, you just want Ash is what you want. You just want one syllable.
Ash Williams.
That is actually one of the things. Is we're not. We're never going to be popular. We're never going to get popular because we're never going to sell out.
When we went on the kill stream that one time and just utterly decimated EVS, though, but when we did that,
and Ethan Ralph.
Yeah, and Ethan Ralph on accident. We weren't even trying to destroy Ethan Ralph, and we did. Basically revealed him, but
and is Ethan Ralph still around? His kill stream, I wouldn't know. Is he still around?
He's considered just a disaster, but he still does.
He's a
stream.
Total lol cow now. He's a massive.
He was always a lol cow to us, though. I mean, going back to 2019, he was always, and other people. We're not the first people to realize that or anything.
So is anyone cool? Is anyone leading?
No.
And
no,
there's nothing.
Nope.
Us.
I know, and you guys, I like your show because
we're not streamers, we're not YouTubers.
I like your show because there's no audience.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I prefer it. If we started gaining an audience, we would do everything we could to chase.
It's like it's just Vickyverse. It's Vickyverse and two people.
Yeah, that's how it should.
We could have absolutely done that. I could have marked out and
Vicky actually does regular shows
and lied about you and lied about everybody else who was honest and told his own audience that they don't deserve comment.
The rule of being popular on YouTube is, people are like, oh, you're not popular. And it's like, yeah, not all of us are willing to fake death threats against our children for clout. The way that Comicsgate and Rekieta's friends, other friends, were always willing to do. And we, again, all we want to do is just tell the truth and point it out. We don't care if nobody pays attention or watches us, but as far as I'm
concerned, this is the important thing. This is what we call the long game. All these people like Rekieta and EVS and Eric July, they will be gone in a few years.
Yeah,
they're already gone. In fact, they don't have real audiences. They pay for their engagement. Their real audiences are either
a lot of them
80 IQ nobodies or
wait, how do you pay for engagement? How do you pay for your engagement? What do you mean?
You buy subs.
You go over to Google and you show up with a big briefcase full of cash and you go, I want subscribers.
If Liam Gray can do it, anyone can do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it clearly
Ethan
takes
did that too, and Ethan is losing effort. Yeah, Ethan's subscribers would constantly go up and down by exactly 1,000. And people are like, oh,
Nick Rekieta is a trust fund. He's got the money to throw around to do that
on its own either. But
we don't have the money. We could absolutely attempt that. I don't want to because I want people who follow us.
I don't want to join. I don't want to play the algorithm game, though. I know a lot of other people are just.
We chase off a lot.
I'm the algorithm king on my channel. We're about to hit 500,000.
Yeah,
and I can't imagine how you'd be able to buy. How you'd be able to buy a customer that was loyal and cared about your stuff. I don't think that exists.
You never can.
No, there's no such thing.
What you do is you buy engagement, a bunch of Indians bot farm your account, and then idiots who don't have any standards or any
they're Indians.
Those are the real people who come on after you're popular.
But yeah, the whole point, the algorithm, that's one thing is that you always admitted too, is that the whole game is fake. It's not, none of it's real. It's all about, manipulate. You create a one video a day using a trending topic as the title and that kind of shit.
Yep. I actually, because I do 4 videos a day.
Yeah,
I can do 2 that are just made to pump engagement. So there are 2 where I'll find someone else's title and someone else's thumbnail, and I'll do something similar. Because to a consumer, looking at the entire feed, all of these thumbnails and titles kind of look the same, and they're the kinds of things that everyone clicks on. So I do 2 of those. Then I'll do 1 that is pretty hard-hitting news. I'm trying to find, a contract I can read, a legal case to talk about.
You taught that to Nurkish.
Yeah, Nurkish.
Right?
I did. Nurkish is really doing really good too. And the 4th one I do is a little more experimental, where I'll go, I'm going to try a character say I haven't covered on my news yet, or a topic
just in
where
case
I think
it gets
might be
hot. a lot of heat.
Yeah, and sometimes it's kind of stuff that I really feel strong about, but I know won't perform, and I'm just going to throw it in the trash. Like if I talk about pro-life stuff or traditional marriage,
Nurkish absolutely deserves the opportunity to do that.
If anyone's going to manipulate the algorithm, it's Nurkish.
And then Comicsgate went after him. They attempted to dox him.
Or threatened to dox. Well, yeah, there was. Don't forget, there was the time.
I mean, they had his dox.
Again, we're going back years and years and years.
Oh yeah. Well, they threatened to dox him. That was like, but that was 80 again, ancient.
Yeah, it feels like 1,000 lifetimes
news.
ago.
But I mean, again, has Ethan done anything to apologize for that or make up for that? No, he has not changed. He has gotten worse.
Other people even bothered, being honest about it, because it's still worth bringing up. The same way that any of the other stuff about.
I've never even heard of anyone on the internet even apologizing. So
there's no such thing.
It's weird.
Well, I would if
that
I
was
was
nothing
wrong.
on the kill stream. They expected me to like turn in every friend I ever had, and I just go, that's not normal behavior. Where if you know like 8 people and 8 people's sins, even if they're illegal, you don't often go to your 8 friends and confront them and call the police on them. Like if
a lot of people want that. A lot of people want you to like recuse yourself from having known somebody in real life.
That is the other issue that sort of they intentionally avoided bringing up on Kino Casino, is that there are huge amounts of there was a huge amount of that in Comicsgate where people you streamed with this guy, where people were doing that to you.
And that's loyalty. That's guilt by association and loyalty statements of it's virtue signaling. I saw you with that guy. Explain yourself about the new controversy. I'm like, I'm not going to explain anything.
Dick Masterson did a show with Maddox for years, and now they're bitter enemies. And it's like, I don't expect them to apologize. Also, at the same time, it's like, you did help embolden this guy's career by working with him.
Yeah,
so you kind of need to
apologize for that.
That was how I met Nick and Dick, was through Maddox. I had Maddox on my show.
Oh yeah, that's right. And that was the thing, is that you would just go on with anyone, including us.
Yeah,
even to us, down to us.
Yeah. Ugh. I mean, wait, that's a good thing for us.
I'm not doing it now. Now that I have a channel that I make a living off of, I'm not going to touch you guys.
Never dare.
You don't need us anymore.
Yeah.
It's like hepatitis. I'm not.
You've ascended beyond us.
They see my channel, and Comicsgate guys will go like, or not Comicsgate, but comic funders will come in and go, "Hey, I'm trying to get a book going. Do you mind? Can I come on your show?" And maybe I go, I don't even use my own channel to promote my work. I go like, this channel, this audience will never buy a comic book from you. They're like, oh, I just need, because I get it as a frustrated.
It's interesting. It's part of the psyop, though, of people, political channels being like, now we're going to make this. We're going to make a.
That's exactly what I see with Tug and Yellow Flash.
Successful thing, and it's going to.
Eric July. It's like, buy my comic. I'm gonna, buy my comic. I'm gonna own the woke.
Well, they genuinely say it's
my
fighting
YouTube
the
channel
culture
owns
war.
the woke. Buy my comic.
And nobody else brings that. Nobody else ever admits to that.
But Eric July's audience, that's why I'm surprised Eric July's model worked so well. Is I just go, usually if you're doing the red hot,
if it actually works.
I'm right-wingy guy, and then suddenly you make a comic book. Usually it's like, look, we're not comic geeks. And his audience was full of comic geeks.
Like, how replicatable is that? Because if it's not, then there's something
I said
else
his book looked mid.
Something wrong.
He blocked me. Then he sent his audience after me to call me a racist. So that is fake. He is fake. When you do that,
again, I don't support SJW creators, so I'm not going to support anyone
he's an
like
SJW.
That. I'm against the
what specifically did he say about you being a racist? When was this?
This was right after he showed up. September of 2022?
Okay.
When did his career start? That was the first thing I noticed. He broke every crowdfunding record sight unseen with no prior career in comics.
And I said, no other comic
doesn't look that interesting. He called me a racist. he blocked me. Then he sent his audience after me, which were also
that's right. He blocked you, and then he took screen cap. He had screen caps of your tweets, and it was like, "This guy's a racist.
Look at this guy."
And all of a sudden, your posts were getting reported.
Eric July
Several of them were reporting your account.
He's going on my list,
like gleefully.
Yeah. He put me. Yeah, he mass flagged. He had
all of this, by the way, was before the Dick Masterson. Before it was like a year before Dick Masterson was even involved.
Once again, you guys led the way.
My account got locked. My account was locked by Eric July because of criticism.
Downstream from shitty webcomics.
Yeah, that's the thing. We are real.
Everything we say, everyone else says,
and that is what they hate about us the most. More than anyone has ever hated anything.
Eric July is jealous of us.
Around.
But can I tell you guys why? Can I tell you guys why you guys always win? The reason why you always
there
win.
Are lots of reasons.
Whole thing, and everyone else loses. They forgot your number one principle is that it's the audience that's at fault.
Yeah.
So it was always about it was the fans. So
of anything,
if you follow that principle, which no other creator is willing to attack those crowd-funded people that are paying them, so they always have to pretend like they're precious. They have to pretend like they're precious and they're always telling the truth because they want their money.
Yeah, they're walking
or
on
super
eggshells.
chats. Yeah, so they walk on eggshells, and you guys just come out and go, no, it's the fans, which is proof in Eric July's fans who have no interest in his comic.
Yeah,
but will
I mean,
buy
most
it.
of them admitted that, and if they're just honest about that, it's like, okay, fine, you don't actually care about the comics. You want to just pretend you're fighting the culture war by giving money to a comic book you have no actual interest in. But then when you point that out, then they get mad, and it's like, but you admitted that. I'm not saying that you do that. You're saying you do that.
Yeah, well, and it was always about that, just pumping that crowd and making money off that crowd. That's what is at the core of all the gates, all super chats, all successful online personalities. And no one can admit it. No one can say it, because then the gig is up. As soon as you say, look, we're making a living off you watching us and sending us money. As soon as you admit that, they go, wait, you mean you're not actually about the right-wing movement or about
culture war?
You're not actually a concern.
You're not an artist. You're not an artist. No, I'm here for attention. I want attention.
Exactly. Which is it? Is it about becoming popular on YouTube?
I just wrote down 2 ideas last night.
Classic idea.
From one of them came to me in a dream. But I was like, oh, I got an idea for a comic. It could just be a one-shot. I'm not trying to make like some kind of epic.
Yeah, we're not trying to make a YouTube. The first approach to us isn't, now we find out how to make a YouTube channel in which we say, hey guys, Biden, did you know that Joe Biden is bad? Whoa, shocking information.
Hey, that's my whole show, man. That's half my gig. But half my gig is Joe Biden is so bad. First of all, I am very much making a living, but I've never said anything I don't believe. But I also need to save my country by getting Trump elected. But I still go like, guys, the country is so effed that just picking the right president is not going to fix it. It's like
I wish Trump would fix the country. I don't really have faith in him doing that, but I would still vote for him above everyone else.
He'll give it as good of a shot as he can. What's wrong with the country is a moral issue. It's not to be solved with politics.
Yeah.
But I mean, even I'll say I tell my audience, I go, you guys have given me the biggest career of my life is here on Doug in Exile. Biggest career. So I never want
your
them
comics even.
Oh, way more than animation, than creating my own shows for Nickelodeon. Way more. Way beyond.
A lifetime of art has not mattered as much as just telling conservatives that yes, Joe Biden is wrong. It's okay to not support Joe Biden.
I'm just trying to get people to vote for Trump. It's all I do is I advocate. I attack the liberals. I'm here to destroy the liberals. Attack them. Fine. Yes. Make fun of them.
To the extent that a YouTube channel will even have that effect, which it's like, you might as well try it. You might as well. And plus,
my audience,
you're making money off of it anyway.
Yeah, it's definitely preaching to the choir. It self-selects because anyone
I don't
who
have
loves
fun with Eric July doing that either. I'm fine with that. If Eric July just comes out and says, look, I just want to get money for saying what you already.
That's the thing is, I never heard of it. I didn't know he was a YouTuber. It's like he just shows up on the scene.
I never heard of him.
And it has a comic, and it's like, oh, what did he do before this? Oh, you had a YouTube channel. Never heard of it.
Yeah, and the only real comic business among us was really outside of mine, because I do make good books. But Tim Lim, he does not have a big YouTube presence, but he has a big comic book presence. So he reversed that paradigm, and by him succeeding proves that you can't touch his comics credentials.
It's Tim and Mark, Iconic Comics, Common America.
All the other guys
they're putting their ideals.
Doug Ernst, Soul Finder, Doug Ernst is good too.
Yeah, they're putting.
You're saying you look at their comics, and you go, oh, they're not in it for YouTube.
Yeah,
and that's the way. That's what I would say.
They actually
if you actually want to do that, that is the way you're supposed to do it. Make the story about the ideals.
Yeah,
and that's also one of the one of the things about making comics. It's you either make the art. It's hard to do that for, I think, conservatives.
So like
you use allegory and symbolism.
No.
A lot of them don't do it.
Hold on, son. It's hard for bad storytellers to do it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem.
A conservative often gets into the field for the wrong reasons.
There's so many great conservative creations that most people don't even realize. Like, Clockwork Orange is a great conservative movie.
Yeah.
Dirty Harry. You were just watching a video about Dirty Harry.
Yeah. They called
it RoboCop is basically RoboCop is an individual fighting against a corrupt system that a corporation so big.
You know what also is a great conservative movie is Starship Troopers. Great
Starship Troopers, same thing, same director. But so conservatives and liberals have always been there, but now it's like ideology is getting pushed instead of talent, instead of merit, instead of storytelling and art. And that's the problem, is now they're going like, this comic is my conservative product. And it's okay. Again, if you had a huge audience and you were making money doing the Rush Limbaugh character
for doing that, but
anyone's allowed to do that.
But the fact that people won't even be honest about how you're basically just selling merch for a YouTube channel in the guise of a comic book.
That's right. Well, and the product, the audience is the product in the end, because you have to shake that money out of them. So
that was something we were pointing out too.
You have to say what they say.
For saying it.
Yeah.
We actually, that was another thing that my brother was saying, is that, it's just the whole thing is the product. The only product is the fan. You're basically buying the political opinions
we get a lot of people in our audience that are like Comicsgate refugees, I call them, where it's like, Ethan Van Scott.
Now we have Rekieta refugees and refunds. Stuff. Yeah, we have
so many people just show up. Yeah. I got tired of asking for refunds. And it's like, why'd you donate to him in the first place?
You're the one who warned
you years ago this would happen.
Exactly.
So do you think the negative product now, the anti-Rekieta, is gonna create I see a field of people doing that?
Well, yeah,
so is that in and of itself a new product?
Yeah, that's the thing. We could exploit that easily and just make daily videos about like, oh, did you see Rekieta did this? It's so bad. Rekieta is bad. And it's like, for us though, it's like, no, we've been saying this for years. All that's changed is that we've been proven right. We were proven right all along. Again, look at what we did again. But for us though, it's not like a product. It's just telling the truth to the point where
and making fun of the audience
we
is
don't
good.
Even care about making it's worth it to make fun of the audience too. That's always good because that's fun. But
I also subscribe to the idea of that you want the audience to lose all the money they can. You want them to give all the money.
Yeah, we were saying, by all means, Comicsgate, please flush as much of your money down
these
the toilet.
People keep asking, it's like, where's your proof? We present some evidence, and it's like, where's your proof of that? And it's like, forget it then. Go ahead.
We already showed it. Yeah, we showed
they're honest. If you don't believe that I am honest and you believe that they are honest instead, by all means, donate more money. Donate to
you should not keep that money. You deserve to lose your money.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the way it is. So why are these people not at least?
And then years later, they come to us and we're like, I can't believe you guys were right all along. And it's like, yeah, that's not our problem. We're not going to hug you. You want a cookie or something? We're not even going to give you a cookie.
I never questioned myself for a second.
But it's also funny seeing all of our memes from back then. Like, you've seen it, like the Ethan needing a hysterectomy and that kind of, or Ethan drinking from the wrong grail and aging rapidly, and
that feeds into the zeitgeist.
Everyone else is starting to repeat that years later.
Well, they're saying it about Nick now too, that he's aged so much.
Yeah.
What about
we started that one too? Also, we said that about rekieta.
But don't you think Comicsgate that Ethan, because he's created a subgenre of his own making and he owns that audience, you know, and I go on Indiegogo. I was saying this on the show last night that I see a lot of projects on Indiegogo labeled Comicsgate. And so I'm seeing a lot of projects moving.
Well, most of them
I know they started 100
fulfilled yet.
They started 100 projects. This is one of the things that I used to talk about because it's such old news. They started 100 projects. They've finished about 3 of them.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're seeing a lot of old ones, or you're seeing them start like second or third ones for the same comic that they haven't finished or fulfilled yet.
But Ethan himself, they keep talking about, crashing audience. He has enough audience to make a living just fine.
He still has over 100,000. He can
it's
milk
not
them
100,000
for the next 10 years.
He doesn't have 100,000. He has
it's the number of views. It's the number of ads.
He has over 100,000 subscribers.
People still send him super chats, and he's still selling books. So.
And even the
I don't believe those either.
The failing of going after Eric July and how that's backfired on him, it's still making him enough money that he doesn't have to do any work on his comic.
Well, yeah, that's also
going after Eric July. How much did that cost him, Pat? It didn't cost him money to go after Eric July and to lose.
Yeah, no, it ultimately resulted in him getting some more. It's not very significant, but he still gets more super chats than
the thing is, and that's another problem.
When he was supporting
like
Eric July,
like Dick Masterson and Ethan Ralph.
Because he was supporting Eric July. Comicsgate was supporting Eric July at first. Oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
All these people, they come to his
they're all
defense
on the same side at first,
and then he sides with them.
Grift.
So they're sharing an audience. But a lot of the people, when they stick around, they end up hating him.
They're all kind of in on it together, though.
People go from Dick Masterson to EVS, and then they're like, "Oh, this EVS guy is a lol cow." If they keep following him, it's because they're making fun of him, or they think he's going to do something funny. But they do not trust him. Nobody trusts him. No one trusts him. But yeah, that's it's what we've been saying for years, though, and we're continuously proven right still.
Again, but still, if he put out a book right now and just said booger cat, it would raise more than if I did
than Cyberfraud.
Yeah, it would raise more than if I did one of my books. Mine are hardbound, better value, longer.
Again, I don't believe that.
The audience doesn't care about story or art.
Yeah, I'm not sure he actually I have a feeling that he just doesn't.
Again, remember, he was funded by some plastic surgeon in Texas. He probably got all that money back after he funded him.
A few people in Comicsgate actually did reveal that and leaked that. That there are just a few handful of whales. And that was something we had been pointing out in our videos years and years back, too, is that there's just a handful of whales who just donate.
Yeah, it's fraud. It's all fraud. It's campaign padding. We have already caught him on all of that. And I remember,
and they don't
in particular, the statue forums are eternal. The statue forums are going nowhere.
Oh, yeah, that's
never finished those campaigns.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember that, Doug, but did you see that stream? It was a long time. That was, again, the 2019.
Yeah, again, ancient news, and I'm tired of reiterating it.
Did you see that one video we did about it was a forum where a bunch of people were like, I paid Ethan Van Sciver a bunch of money for a commission at a convention, and he never did.
But that was ancient. Those are like Facebook texts, right? Those are old.
Well, they were the Facebook texts from Alfie. In fact, hold on. There was another video I was going to play.
That was another genius video.
Another genius video. Let me play that one because I know you're going to like that one too.
Oh yeah, this is going to be put me to sleep. I mean, this is going to be great.
What? Wait a second.
It'll put me to sleep. It's going to crash my blood sugar.
Yeah. Oh wait, here it is. Well, here's the first one. This was the one that, interestingly enough, there was something else we were pointing out is proving objectively. Scientifically quantifying how we're actually better at doing streams than Warski, because we played this one where that's right. There was the 4chan posts here. I think, did you see this one?
Yeah.
I think I shared this story here once before. I'll start off by saying, yes, I'm a homosexual, gay, faggot.
Oh, come on. Quit playing this. I've
whatever
seen
you
this
want to call me. So this was a few years back.
We showed you this a million
But
times.
what's the context of it? I see you play it. I don't believe Ethan's gay. So everyone's saying Ethan's gay. I don't believe it. But
I don't believe he's straight.
I don't believe he's gay from this. I believe he's gay from his behavior, his public behavior.
Yeah.
To me, proves he's gay.
That which makes this more credible.
Yes.
You made an assessment, but what was the context of this particular?
This was 2018, so I think this was right after the time he was trying to, shill Cyberfrog and Comicsgate as being a thing. Interestingly enough, after he said Comicsgate will never be a thing, he actually said that back in 2017.
Well, he says a lot of things.
Yeah.
He says a lot of things.
He says a lot of things that he completely walks back the next
Right.
That's exactly why Tim Lim is an enemy for life of EVS. He contradicted himself just one day after the other. And Tim Lim,
us too also,
all he said was, you said the opposite yesterday. Boom, enemy for life. That's all it takes.
Yeah, when Rekieta had me on and I got Ethan to completely contradict himself in like 5 seconds, not even a joke. It was actually 5 seconds. And again, the streams and videos are up there the whole time.
It's almost
But
like
he doesn't have to care what people think on a small channel, because on the internet, among that economy, big channel wins, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That never works out in the end.
But people trust the big channel. They always worship status. The Antichrist in action is that people will always worship the
That's why I post a poll. The
audience are sheep. The audience are sheep and attracted to other people to tell them corral them and tell them where to march.
I just go to polls.
Who to
What
attack.
we always said about
to
Rekieta too. That was always the problem we had with Rekieta, was that he would be dishonest and nobody would call it out except us. But we had the smaller, we have a smaller.
But doesn't that make you the foil, because you expect the audience to change and respond when a piece of truth comes out to them?
I don't expect anything.
Richard Meyer's holding up a wrinkly comic and he's going, "This is the high quality paper." And the audience is nodding.
Yeah, exactly. That was.
I'm just saying that's the audience. You're not gonna convince them unless you put on a better show or have a bigger following.
Well, I mean, we do those things, but the thing is, and this is also very true with Richard C. Meyer too, is just he's gone. What has he done? I'm sure he makes a comic here and there, but nobody's talking about him anymore. I haven't heard his name in a while.
I last saw, I think it was Expendables Go to Hell, but he got a license with Stallone to do it.
Again, that was years ago too, and that comic ended up being years late. I think that didn't come out until like 3 years ago.
Again, his own audience turns against him. It just keeps happening over and over. It's like stairs. His audience turns against him. Then he sheds his audience. He gains a new audience of other idiots, and then they turn against him too. And it happens over and over again.
Is that the old audience leaves, and then a new audience of people who aren't familiar with the reason why the old audience left will come in and be like, "Oh, this guy's really cool," having no clue about what happened previously.
And they usually come to us where we call them gay.
Yes.
They come to us and we call them gay retards for having ever been fans of them.
We just repeat
so if someone
was said, and
if some up and comer wanted to make a comic and they came to you and you were going to give them advice given what you know, because you have so much experience.
Yes.
Would you tell them,
true,
oh, just make that comic for no money? Or would you tell them you have to build up a giant YouTube following and then try and flip them?
If you I would tell them if you want to be a popular YouTuber and just sell your comic based off your popularity on YouTube, then here's, look for other people to learn how to be popular on YouTube. But if you want to learn how to make an actual good comic, you should learn from the masters,
my own advice. My advice for me that I would give to other people is that you can't give up. These people want you gone because you are competition, but they are bad competition. They're hoping their larger numbers will just defeat you by themselves. So if you just don't let them do that, if you just succeed out of spite, you will eventually succeed.
Even if
it might take a long time.
That's the other really important thing that you're not even mentioning, is that you're going to be less popular either way. But are you in this for popularity, or are you in this to make something that's actually
Your
good?
popularity will be less, but it will be real. It will actually contain people.
Most
with
people go into
soul.
the public arts for popularity. Public
Yeah,
arts. If you're going to be a
yeah.
performing musician,
We're not most
actor,
people, of course.
comic
a lot
book
of
artist.
people, everyone wants to be acknowledged for the work that they do.
Yeah,
the
there's
problem is when you see somebody who's fake, you see somebody who just made it based on luck or existing
Or they
status.
bought their way in or something like that.
Yeah, when they are fake, those people will always have more, and so you have to be able to get past that.
Yeah, you have to just keep like again with us or with Tim and Mark, is that you have to just
Look how
keep
angry
making
we
it,
make
if
them.
that's what you want to do, anyways. If you want to
Look
just
how
be a YouTuber, then you can do
infuriated.
that.
Just look at fucking EVS. EVS is so enraged that we're still around. He's like supporting child abuse. He's telling Rekieta's kids they're at fault for Rekieta doing drugs now. That's him.
Yeah,
that is what
that.
EVS has been.
I didn't hear
to.
that quote. What was that he said?
He basically said it was the kid. Maybe the kids actually brought the cocaine in.
Yeah. And that the kids
he
should
was
be
saying
taking
that it
care
was
of themselves.
Yeah.
The
There's
kids
no way
one
he
of the
said
kids
that.
is 16. The
Yeah,
oldest
no,
kid
they
is
played
16.
the videos on that. They actually
yeah,
played
he
the,
absolutely did. Yeah. Well,
Keenan
I mean,
Casino
again,
did
he
play
says a
those
lot of
video
stuff.
clips too.
That is also the thing that these people do when they're guilty and they're caught, is that they just start spewing. They spew endlessly. It's his kid's fault. It's somebody else's fault. This, that, the other thing. They make up everything they can do. It's called a cope spiral.
As we called
cope
it.
spiral, a purity
But
spiral.
I have not heard.
Call it that.
I have not heard from Nick since the event, and so I'm waiting to hear from him before I weigh in on any of this stuff.
He's not
because I just know how everything goes around the internet, 8 million times, and no one knows that they're repeating the same piece of. So I'm just saying, I'd love to hear from him
He is doing streams though. That's the thing, is that he's doing streams where
which he shouldn't be. His lawyer screaming at him daily.
He's
just
going full,
stop
like,
talking. Just
Matrix.
stop talking.
Yeah,
okay.
And then I go to Paul because I'm bringing this to Paul. They're the ones who fucking fell in love with him.
Which is
he's a Rittenhouse.
It's a
He's
minor
a base
thing, but
Chad
part of the
Dad
psychic
lawyer.
zeitgeist. A lot
I
of
bring
people
him
don't
there,
understand either.
and every single person there is like, "Who is this? Literally who? Never heard of him." Suddenly, all these people who loved him pretend like he never existed to begin with.
Wow,
that is what his real audience
praise
is like.
him all the time too. And
he
now
is nobody now.
Yeah, and I stand by my.
They don't know who he was.
Yeah, I stand by my friends where I just go. But here's the thing: is like to the internet, the way they see all these people who are on camera, they're chess pieces. They're people you hate or love. But when I get to know people in real life, it's not if they go through a tough time, you don't just bail on them. That might be what the internet does, but it's not. It's just not what I do.
I do not stand by any of my friends if they end up doing something like. If I find that they're doing something wrong, I do not stand by them. They're gone. I cut them out of my life.
Be something wrong. Like if.
Oh no,
if
I stand by.
Says
Look,
that gay people are bad. I'm not that bothered by that.
If I ran away from all my friends that did something bad, I'd have very few friends.
Yeah,
so
I have very few friends. I'm very, very selective with who I decide to keep around me.
Yeah.
Tim Lim, Mark Pellegrini, they've kind of shown themselves to be genuine.
Yeah, and the thing is, the thing about Doug is that Doug is willing to, overlook anyone's behavior based on what he. Yeah. It's about if you've seen it yourself or what you see for yourself. And
it's also, I literally judge everyone. Like, to me, my view of the whole world is that everyone is completely fallen. And maybe I don't know all their public sins. Maybe I don't know their public sins, but privately, who knows what they're doing?
But the thing is,
just because I don't know about someone's whatever, doesn't mean that they're not out driving drunk every night. You always find out at the very end going, hey, I thought I had a good gauge of the guy, and then I was wrong.
Yeah,
so I just kind of, I blanket judge everyone that which the Bible does too, is all men stand condemned already. So I'm just going, everyone is a corpse condemned. And then they go, but Nick is extra. But Nick is extra condemned. I'm just going, I don't think that buys you.
Well, especially
a
because
lot
he
of
didn't like
points.
the real problem is that he didn't like us. That's the condemnation. That's
Well,
where
that is
everything
actually
went
the
wrong,
key
the
thing
Shitty
is
Webcomics
he
curse.
has personally, just like EVS and
Yeah, Doug, I don't know if
Eric
you knew
July
this, but the
and
Shitty
Ethan Ralph,
Webcomics curse is
they
real.
have personally wronged us first. I didn't do anything to them.
Sure.
They wronged us. And so
Sure.
all I can think of is, what if that somebody that I'm supporting does that to somebody else? I can't
That's right.
support that.
That's true. True.
I can never side with somebody who would do that to somebody else. I cannot take the side, and I will not defend.
Okay, but
let's go to Nick and his kids, because the thing I'm most skeptical of, not that he neglects his
child
kids,
abuse
but
allegations.
that he abuses his kids.
Yeah,
I think that's his wife who's saying that, especially.
Well, no, it's no. It's a lot of people just pointing out that
throwing it. I was reading something
that letting his kids, if you're high on cocaine all the time.
Yes.
Well,
with
first
your
off,
kids around
his wife is absolutely
abuse.
also. His wife is on the same level as him. She's going to throw him under the bus because she's also a degenerate.
Also,
They're both degenerates
now too, of course, who is also a cokehead. Apparently, there's a lot more to be seen about that to see how much of that.
Now, I did see a message from her, and she said, "I'm a victim. I'm not an addict." Did he say that to
That was
Medicare?
the April chick who was married to that Steel Toe morning show.
Yeah. So didn't she send something like that where she's claiming that she's a victim?
She's trying to throw all of them under the bus.
It is hard to keep track of all this crap. And again, I don't like them. I don't want to know any of this. I don't want to have to be their archivist.
I personally don't
approve
of being friends with rekieta.
It's exhausting.
Yes.
To archive an entire show.
But yeah, the one difference, and it's like I don't like that you would defend rekieta at all ever. But the thing is, I understand that you basically will, unless somebody is like murdered or raped somebody, right. You'll say that they deserve forgiveness.
If you don't have the evidence
I got to clarify that. I do not say people are deserved forgiveness, and I don't even believe you have to offer it to everyone. The idea behind judgment and the law is to get someone to turn and repent. The goal is not to throw them in a meat grinder and punish them forever. The goal is maybe the hope is for them to turn good. That's what the law is for.
Yeah, that is the important thing. They have to repent first.
Yeah,
or at the very least, eventually.
That PPP was saying also, by the way, he was basically pointing that out on the show.
Yeah, and the Bible says without repentance there can be no forgiveness. So I agree with the theology of it. I'm only saying when someone I know is going through a meat grinder and they think that everyone has left them because now they've done something bad, it means that they were conditionally only their friends because everyone thought they were so pure. And
yeah, that's a major.
But I'm saying I've already judged the entire world as pretty bad. So what I want Nick to know is that everyone else can turn their back on you. I'm not here ever endorsing one thing he's ever done. I've never endorsed one drug he's taken, one movie made with his family. I don't endorse him neglecting his family, but I'm going to be there to help him rebuild when he repents if he repents and he's ready to turn it around. If he doesn't, but you make someone that offer first. You go, hey, are you ready to turn it down? Let's get you in rehab. Let's get you going, buddy.
He's got to be genuine, which
I
don't.
If I tell him,
I'm not waiting for that.
If I say, "Hey, I'll DM Nick rekieta and I'll say, hey, I agree with Doug TenNapel. You need to go to rehab," that will guarantee he will never go to rehab.
Yeah,
He'll block you. In fact, that's the thing is apparently he's going to block you.
Credibility. Yeah, Andy Worski's going. I told him.
I cannot DM him.
He's going. I told him he was an alcoholic for years. Worski used to be an alcoholic.
Worski's covered up for it. That's really bullshit.
Yeah, Sweepy Squad. Worski was on the Sweepy Squad. Otherwise, the sounds very Calvinist.
Worski's very.
I know about Calvinism as a person. I saw hardcore. I know what Calvinism is.
We've actually proven that Worski's a disingenuous person, and also
my theology people. I'm only saying that they take it as, oh, you believe it's okay to abuse children. I never said that. That's putting words in my mouth, and typical of probably YouTubers trying to get.
People are angry at him. That is the thing is, well, especially me, I'm angry at him. And so a lot of the people are going to be disingenuous and they're going to be piling on because they consider it to be lol cow material. Because he's a lol cow, they're going to pile on because they find it's funny. They don't really care about him.
Yeah.
I care about him because he personally wronged me. A lot of these people are just tourists.
I care about him in the extent that I am enjoying seeing the comeuppance of what we said was going to happen to him for years. But
also,
other people who should be praying for him need to pray harder, I think.
It sounds like you're also saying
maybe
that,
we let him down on that.
Tim Lim does not owe EVS 1,000 apologies.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Are you saying Tim Lim doesn't owe EVS 1,000?
Yeah, I remember that one.
1,000 apologies.
Again, another classic
EVS blunder.
Well, I like to refer to that as shitty webcomics classic because, of course, we're
who
the ones.
Who can be mean? Who can discredit Tim Lim?
I was going to say mean.
No one.
But no
I've
one.
met that guy in person. Who can be mad at that guy?
I've been on shows with him.
Ethan
He's very
Van
genuine.
Yeah.
Ethan Van Sciver really doesn't like Tim Lim.
Yeah, maybe Mark Pellegrini, he's the Worski of iconic comics.
That's not nice.
No,
this is very unfair.
You know what? I give 1,000 apologies for to Mark Pellegrini for saying.
To Pellegrini, the
Mark
Worski.
Pellegrini. Mark Pellegrini, the writer.
I was on a show with Worski probably 4 years ago. We did a New Year's show on Masterson. I think Dick Masterson's show. I was on it with Justin Wang, rekieta.
See, that sounds fun, by the way, because
Worski.
A lot of people are choosing to forget that, and I don't like Dick anymore either. The way he's covering up for this shit either.
I like Dick's show back in the day. He's always been funny. At least he clearly has talent. That is the thing I have to give to Dick Masterson right now. Is he always clearly had talent?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's funny. He's funny.
But is it gone now? I don't even know because.
I don't get the and I don't get the crazy over attacks on Eric July are so weird. It's
now Riley's in jail. Riley went to jail now. Thanks, Eric July. Thanks, Dick. Dick, I don't think Dick
that's
even cares.
Very important.
It's just fodder.
The legit criticisms that other people have even repeated without knowing, again, as pointed out earlier, but any legitimate criticism. First of all, not that Eric July gets the comics out. He gets his comics out, and if people want to buy it, they should. Absolutely.
I would never say he shouldn't be allowed to make comics. That is the other key thing. I say I don't like his comics. People think that I am saying that he shouldn't be allowed to make comics, which I'm not.
No, yeah, we've never said
they are lying
which
when
I'm not.
they say
I'm saying it, but I'm not. Yeah, that's my other thing is in my feed suddenly it all blew up. Where everyone's sending me pictures of the twins, whatever these horror twins are, and they're going, how can you stand by Eric July? I'm going, I'm not standing by. I'm saying he should be able to make a comic. They're going, how can you say as a Christian, they're demanding I judge him harsher, the same way that PPP last night is demanding they're telling you how you need to act toward another person in judgment. Like, what is the correct?
They want you in their pocket.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
Basically, but I mean,
am I orchestrating? Am I orchestrating the entire world? It's weird. I'm supposed to be so judgmental and religious. Where am I projecting my avatar on the entire world on how one person should act toward another? I don't get it.
A lot of people
love Earthworm Jim. You should condemn rekieta.
A lot of people, Earthworm Jim was also in Sacrifice, by the way. Do you remember the Earth God Jim in Sacrifice? That's Earthworm Jim.
That's a good game. Sacrifice was a pretty sweet game.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Wrong opinion. Empirically wrong. Not a matter of taste.
Oh, no.
All right, first of all, blocked, unsubscribed.
Blocked, unsubscribed.
Unliked.
Oh, boo-hoo. Boo-hoo, look at me. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm a 57-year-old man with a family. What am I going to do without
Doug's face as he's despondent right now? But
Stream home address and the credit card number and social security number,
IP address,
and your actual Earth coordinates. No, but
GPS location.
I'm fine. I am fine with condemning rekieta for any reason I want.
Well, when it comes to making comics, SJW Marvel, go ahead and this is the thing that I really hate about comics.
We always said that too.
It's like we're going to take over Marvel.
We're
going to blow up Marvel, and we're going to take over the business. No, you're not, and you don't deserve the right.
No.
Yeah.
Let them make their
And why
crap
would you
comics.
want to?
Nobody wants to buy them.
Yeah, go ahead and let SJW Marvel make all the shitty. Let them ruin Iron Man or whatever your favorite guy is. Let them turn
it's like
America into a trans woman.
It's like Ash said last night. CG never had a brand. They never knew what they even stand for. They never agreed on anything. So how can you lead a movement with no creed or no value?
They don't even use Comicsgate as a brand or even as a name. It's just all caps, and that's just
they were never
UBS.
Trumpers. Yeah, they're all just never Trumper Obama voters who pretended to have voted Trump when they didn't.
And that's also
it would almost be worse though if they were all pro-Trump. It would almost be worse if they were the Trump brand.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. That's what gave them away. They were never Trumpers until they decided it was a better
the day after he was elected. Unironically, that was something that Ethan Van Sciver's own friends at DC were like, "What's with this? Pretending that you're pro-Trump now when you were just saying yesterday before the election that he's an idiot and dangerous for the country." And then Ethan would respond by blocking them. It's like, oh, you're blocking your own friends now?
That's a big tell.
Weird. Yeah, exactly.
How
weird. But guys, does it make it any easier to tolerate Ethan if you just go, he's just a guy putting on a show. He's just another entertainer. He's like, I don't like Howard Stern either, but he's Howard Stern. Or he's Gene Simmons from Kiss. He puts on the makeup.
Well, that's why we blame the fans. We blame the
I haven't listened to how. Does anyone listen to Howard Stern still? I don't think so.
No.
I think he's still on.
I'm sure he's still on. I don't care.
He's still on Sirius XM, but Opie and Anthony aren't. That's the tragedy.
In fact, he hasn't been funny since the movie.
Yeah.
Private Parts.
Oh, yeah.
That was a long
Private
time
Parts,
ago.
I like that movie.
Yeah, that was.
Yes, exactly.
I even liked the book.
It's probably because a director or a screenwriter came in and fixed a lot of the problems with the book.
The director was the woman who used to be in Hill Street Blues. She was a really good director.
Penny Marshall.
Yeah. I actually pitched to her one of my books in Hollywood. I had a meeting with her. She liked one of my books.
Oh no, you're part of the Holly queered system now.
The Hollywood Wokenati.
You're in on it. I knew it. Get this guy out of here. Boo this.
Everyone's like, what did you know when? I worked at Nickelodeon when one of those abusers was there. No one had any idea.
Right?
Was it Dan Schneider or were there more?
Dan Schneider was there for like 20 years, wasn't he?
It was not. Now I've worked with Kel, has done voices for me of Keenan and Kel. That guy, he was the one under Schneider. But
is he the
Schneider
guy
was
on SNL now.
No, that's the other one. Keenan.
Okay.
Snyder was over in the live action division. I was in the animation room, so we barely had any interaction. But there was a guy that they had who was on janitorial staff who had abused the underage kid there, and they found out and they disappeared him. He got fired or whatever, which is normal what you do. But
that happened in Comicsgate too, just a few months ago.
Yeah, but I got to tell you something about that guy. Everyone knew him. Mm-hmm. Everyone knew him, and he was a nice guy, and none of us could have imagined that he was doing that.
Living in hiding, usually, I can imagine. I mean, that's how they should be, kind of.
Hiding in
Comicsgate,
hiding in plain sight.
The predators and the real creeps.
And again, it's not. This is also one of the problems.
Much more egotistical.
This is one of the problems I kind of have with the breakdown of society. Is right now people are like, oh, we can't take the law into our own hands, and it's like the whole reason why we had a police force in the beginning is because you need to investigate crimes before you punish them.
Right.
Otherwise, you'll probably have mob violence resulting in a lot of innocent deaths.
Right.
This is why I'm pro-police. All these people are like, oh, you trust the cops? And it's like, it's a preferable system to mob violence. Sorry.
Yeah. Because other people would be like the 100 Derek. It would be like Trayvon Martin times 1,000 if your average
9/11 of Trayvon Martin's
was the police.
Well, I've had Christian friends who are Nick Rekieta fans. They reach out to me and go, "Can you believe?" They go, "Can you believe it's his own church that turned him in?" And I go,
"Yes."
They legally have to report that if they see malnourished kids, if they have an inclination, you have to. You can't blame them.
There's a terminology for that where they're
mandatory report, mandatory.
It's something like that.
I think it's like mandatory report. Lawyers have to do it. Priests have to do it. Therapists have to do it. If someone's going to harm themselves or a child, and that's part of that's could be because of the Catholic Church hid behind
if there's
the
an
cloth
impending
and
threat.
say we're not going to turn these people in because we're our own institution or whatever. And they go, no, now you have to turn them over to the state. You have to let someone in the feds
I know that's true for psychologists, is if they believe somebody's in imminent
too,
danger.
Yeah.
Which is that's very important. And the church is part of the community.
A crime. Yeah.
Mandatory report. So I don't blame the church for turning him in, and I don't.
I respect the church, if anything.
Absolutely, I think it's their goal, I think, is to look out for the kids. I'm only saying that skinny kids that smell bad does not always mean abuse.
Well, not always, but I mean, in this case, it could absolutely in billions.
I was raised around like just poor people that all of them the state would have turned them in.
I mean, he's not poor, but he did have 6 kids.
We were skinny kids when we were growing up, and
we were skinny and we were dirty and we were poor.
If
I would also say
our mom, I would be like, baton her kneecaps, shoot her.
Right, and you tell them what Nick's kids told the state. They'd go, we're not being fed.
But I mean, that is also abuse.
I would say that just to get some.
That was the other thing too. Is like
it's neglect. It is. It's abuse.
It is neglect.
Yeah.
Yes, and that is
it's abuse.
Neglect is abuse.
My entire family.
But that is also not
it's alleged abuse. Until you get to the bottom, I just want to hear the other side of the story. I haven't heard yet.
Well, I think Rekieta didn't like us, so therefore he's guilty of all.
That is the curse of SWC. We have decided the curse of SWC is as soon as they disagree with us, it is already on.
Yeah,
it's on.
It's more than I need.
That's admission of all guilt.
Yes,
it's on like Columbine.
They didn't like us. It's an admission of guilt right there. That's
how probably.
It's on like Sandy Hook. Yes. It's like Sandy Hook. It's on.
It's a hologram.
I mean, I haven't met a lot of people. It is true that I haven't met a lot of people who didn't like me or disagreed with me that I would trust. Like, I wouldn't trust them. Like with my family or with my house, I wouldn't trust them.
And they probably lie about you too, like that. They probably abuses his kids. I'm sure. Yes.
Yeah, there have been a lot of people who said
take the kid's word for it.
That Doug TenNapel abuses his kids just because they don't like him. So I mean, but you can't base the criteria off of that either. Again, you should base it off of if they like us or not. If they don't like us,
I mean, we live in an age though of swatting. That's the first thing I thought of when Nick got busted. I go, oh man, this is an internet fan went and sent the cops to his house. Then they said it was the church. Fine, that I'm happy to find that out actually.
That
it was someone who they actually knew who cared instead of just an internet fan that sent the FBI or whatever to his house.
Yeah,
okay?
But
we all know
that needs to end.
That's what occurred to you, right? That's what you thought when you first heard it.
Not for me. No, I automatically distrusted Rekieta. But at the same time, on the subject of video games, there's a swatting situation in Watch Dogs 2.
Yes, back to video games.
In Watch Dogs 2, there's like some mission where it's like, oh, this script kiddie is swatting people on stream, so we're going to swat him. And it's like at no point is like, wait, we're going to swat them in revenge for them swatting other people. Is that right? Nobody ever asked that in the game. And it's like, wait, hold on, I'm not comfortable with this. I don't countenance this behavior.
Basted with red sauce placed for plants pills or whatever the fuck it's called.
Maximum based.
Watch Dogs 2 is based AF.
It takes place in San Francisco, and so all I do is I hack people's phones to see if they've been divorced.
Yes.
I hack people's phones to see if they've been divorced, and if they are, I club them.
Yes.
I do judge all people who are divorced as I mean, that's
failures.
So you're going to judge Rekieta even more soon then, aren't you?
Oh yeah, if he gets divorced, I'm calling the cops on him myself.
Extra swatting.
Real genuine.
Actionable. This is actionable right now.
Legitimate. This is deserved. It's
if anything,
it's,
we should
legitimized.
Be swatted. We should be swatted right now just for saying this.
Well, you're lucky you never show where you live, or we would have figured it out.
Yeah, that's the point.
Or have we?
That's the point.
We docked
1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Have you guys left the state? Have you guys left the state since I last talked to you? Have you left the state?
Why would I leave my home country? It's my country, not anyone else's.
My beautiful country.
I just want to see if I can get you guys out here ever.
So deep south red state right now. I don't see any point in going anywhere else. We're so
we watched Gettysburg recently.
I don't want to say about our hometown, Gettysburg. That we live
hometown
in.
of Gettysburg.
Our ancestors, Robert E. Lee. We're quite fond of him. He freed all of his slaves before the war. People don't talk about that.
there were abolitionists in the South.
Yeah.
Nobody admits that. That was
Robert
also the thing.
Ely
You
was,
were
Oh,
talking about some
doesn't
review.
it have Robert Duvall in it? Gettysburg, is that the one?
Robert E. Lee.
No, it was
No,
Martin
I mean the
Sheen.
actor. You.
Martin Sheen played Lee generally.
Oh, okay.
Terrible. Generally. But yeah, also
although he
is
is
Jeff
good.
Daniels in it?
Yeah,
Daniels?
Jeff Daniels.
That's so bad.
In the Union.
He's much better in Speed, of course, but I mean, not every movie can be Speed.
Not every movie can be Speed.
Yeah.
On Speed.
Speed, another great
speaking of-
conservative work of art.
Speed.
Classic
Yeah.
conservative.
It's another one of those kind of like Helldivers. Also, speaking of video games, Helldivers
speaking
too.
of literary, have you heard this term media literacy?
Oh yeah. Ugh.
Is that when you know references? Is that the one?
No, media
That's all it
literacy
means.
is when you know that RoboCop is actually a hardcore anti-capitalist left-wing celebration of leftist.
Yeah, that's what this is where the woke Star Trek bullshit is coming from.
Yeah, where people are like Star Trek was always woke. Excuse me, sweaty.
And it's like, oh, you know, my favorite.
Next Generation was more woke than the originals were not. The Next Generations were.
Well,
maybe.
the key thing, the
DS9
key
was
important
also not.
thing, the most
TNG
important takeaway
was
from all
kind of
this
a little
is you
leftist.
cannot make anything of merit unless it's slightly conservative, slightly basted with the red sauce.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
You cannot make anything until you have at least
Sure.
taken into consideration
have to be
the
full
right-wing
right-wing.
point of view.
It can
Next
be
Generation
leftist.
had Whoopi Goldberg on it. Like I don't know how you can
It was
even
the
fight
only
that.
thing that
It's the best thing she's ever been in.
Yeah, I know, but
thing she's
they
ever
have no. They have no money. They're beyond money. In Next Generation,
Well, that was great. They make fun of that in Deep Space Nine, where
Yes.
Captain Sisko's son Jake is asking Nog the Ferengi for money.
The Ferengi, the Jewish Ferengi.
Yeah, and
The Jewish
so
standards.
Nog is like, well, why you need money? And it's like if you need money.
Well, so your enlightenment, your philosophy of self-improvement.
Yeah, and,
It's like-
and Jake is like, there's nothing wrong with our philosophy. We just don't need. We've evolved beyond the need for money. And so Nog is
So
like,
bad.
well, if you don't need money, then you don't need mine. And it just shuts him down. That's the end of the argument right there. It was very
Well, I mean,
very
actually, what
based
ends
in
up
AF.
resulting is that he ends up having to go to his friend Nog to get the money.
Yeah,
to
he
get
does
the
still have
baseball
to get the
card.
money ultimately.
It turns out money is perfectly
Yeah,
good. There's
turns
nothing
out
wrong
money
with
has-
capitalism.
Has actually
We didn't make it. We tried watching Deep Space. We were huge Next Generation, huge original Star Trek
tricky
fans
to get
in our house.
into. I would skip to like the third.
It's very
season.
different. That's the problem. It's very different, but if you give it a chance, I think it's actually in some ways better than TNG. It's certainly better than Voyager. It's certainly better than Enterprise.
Yeah, for sure.
Voyager had
But
some good stuff,
what
though.
season? What season would you come back in on that one? Because it was so bad.
I don't know.
And Janeway had such the smoker's
You know-
cough.
Oh,
Okay, everybody.
the smoker rasp.
They missed the boat with her character because they could have done. They had a few good episodes with her, but they could have done way. They had no idea what the hell they were doing. Like
Yeah.
all the stuff with even the guy who played Chakotay was like, they really screwed me over. I had the shittiest character.
That was like the political. That's when they started to really.
I
lean
don't know
into
when
the
to recommend
politically correct
DS9 though.
checklist. They didn't do
And
that with
they had the bald.
DS9.
Was he the bald holograph doctor? I
He
think?
was the best character, just about though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked him.
And 7 of 9. Everyone likes 7 of 9. Everyone likes the
Their
doctor.
interactions
Yeah, he was
usually
good.
made for the best episodes.
Yeah.
Well,
There was good Voyager.
of the Next Generation, it was Locutus was the and Hugh. I am Hugh, the Borg that turned good. Hugh.
Yeah, I really like that episode.
That was my
That was
favorite
good.
woke Star Trek. My favorite woke
that's
Star
great
Trek
woke Star
episodes
Trek.
all involved the communist robots
Yeah, that's
who are
right.
evil, objectively evil.
Yeah,
The objectively evil communist.
you
robots.
will be
actual
assimilated. That's what the
Actual
whole
endpoint
dude.
communism.
That's what culture is about. Culture, it demands peer pressure. It demands you follow.
Purity.
It's all this mob on the internet. They're the Borg. Get into the Borg ship, buddy.
The Borg were the purest form of basically anything they could be.
And they're also the villains. There is
Yes.
no attempt to
Oh,
even
no, they're not
argue
good.
against their way of life. They're just considered to be automatically the
Well,
villains
yeah,
by
that's
default.
part of the media literacy thing. Is people go the leftists being like, Starship Troopers was a satire on fascism, and the bugs are the good guys. It's like, no, bugs are not.
bugs-
not
the
even
bugs
in
are
the
the good
movie.
guys.
Not even in a leftist
They're
interpretation.
stabbing people in the head. And they're the good guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely
I mean,
not.
I didn't like that movie. I did not enjoy it.
I actually thought it
The
was
movie is
mid. I
corny.
think it's aged better now, though. In a
Yeah.
way.
The message
That
has
was
aged
Phil
better.
Tippett's first CG movie, I believe, was
That's right.
because he did the rope, he did the CG animals. They were going to be
Also-
stop motion, and he opened up his first CG motion capture. He put puppet. He put
They hold up to this day. They still
Yeah, they're
are
actually they're really
flawless.
good.
yeah, they're scary.
Yeah,
He did a good job.
he
Yeah,
did
there's a
Jurassic
million
Park.
of them. There's trillions of them.
Did he do the stop motion for Jurassic Park or like other?
There was no stop motion in it, but they originally wanted to do stop motion. So he had a T-Rex, he had a raptor, and he was doing animation sequences. And I was there the day they pulled the plug on doing stop motion puppets. They said, we're doing all of it CG. They got a bunch of CG back from, I think it was ILM. And
you talked to Spielberg and told him it should be CG.
I got to talk to Spielberg. I got to talk to Phil.
I do know that you hung out with him a few times.
I got the puppet.
Cool.
I got Phil Tippett on the day he found out. He took that raptor puppet. It's a $75,000 stop motion puppet, and he threw it across the room, and it crumpled in the chair next to me. And I go, look, you're not going to use this, but can I use this for the Jurassic Park game? And we took out an insurance policy for it, and ended up letting us use that. I used that exact puppet in the game. I got to shoot it in San Francisco. I went to a studio. We set up a green screen, and as long as I kept it in San Francisco, they'd let me take it out of his studio and go across town and shoot it. But it was like
the Super Nintendo game.
No, this was for the Genesis.
Okay.
It's the Sega Genesis, the real
sure how much
the
there's a
real
difference
one.
the
because
superior console.
Superior Genesis,
But,
of course.
but that
does what the
thing's
Nintendo
ball and
does.
socket armature in it was made like what with dental instruments. It's the smoothest, best stop motion thing I've ever done or used in my life.
Yeah,
Like, it's just-
animatronics and stop motion were the thing to use
Sure.
I saw
before
Mad
CG.
God actually. That was on movie night.
Yeah.
Shitposter.world movie night, or
Yeah.
back when it was shitposter.club, but I think it was last year. And I saw it's not an easy watch, of course.
No, it's gross. It's too dark and too gross.
And there's no plot to it. Also,
No plot, too dark, too gross. But
I don't
man,
like unhappy movies. I don't like horror
I
movies.
don't
It's
like.
scary.
You know what?
I
I don't
don't
like it when there's just no actual story to tie everything together. Aside from that, the visuals.
As a writer,
Yes.
I appreciate the
I'm
writing
a
so much
writer,
more now.
Actually, I'm a writer, but yeah,
he needed a writer.
yeah.
He needed a writing room.
Just send him to me next time. Clearly, that's the solution.
But I like his work on his best stuff. I thought was Dragon Slayer. That's kind of peak. He did the go motion thing where he'd have the puppet move so it would do a blur while the aperture was open on the camera.
Blur effect. Yeah, didn't he do that?
Those Ed
Was that
209, I think, did that.
Yeah, did on RoboCop 2, the big main one.
And The Thing, right? Or was that not him?
No.
I don't think The Thing was him. I
I
don't
know the
think
thing was
him.
Rob Bottin did the thing, and then also
I don't
Stan
even know
Winston
that.
did
I'm pretending
something.
like I know that much. I don't, but still.
Yeah, but if you look at the
This
stop
is more
motion,
interesting than talking about YouTubers.
EVS, yeah. But let's talk
EVS.
about the Jurassic
about
Park
Jurassic Park.
CG, which is in light. It's actually during the day when you first see the brontosauruses.
Well,
and
those were
that
real,
is something.
right? Oh no, the brontosauruses, those were CG, but it was the Triceratops that was real. An actual,
that was
not
the
even an effect,
Triceratops.
an actual real life Triceratops.
yeah. So what they did on those sets was they'd bring like a big brontosaurus maquette. Let's say it's like 4 feet long and 5 feet tall or whatever, and they shot it when they shot the live action plates of Sam Neill and Laura Dern in the Jeep. So they got perfect lighting on the paint job on that model. The model had the correct paint job that they would eventually photograph and use as the textures on the CG brontosaurus. So they had perfect lighting match on all of their raptors and all the animals. They had these maquettes that they would shoot for reference and use those actual textures on the 3D models.
Yeah, you always
and
assume
match
that
it.
there's like nothing there. They're literally looking at nothing. But then you forget, back in some of those older movies, they would CG over stuff so that they're actually.
Yeah, they would do it.
looking at
They used a tennis ball, like a tennis ball on a stick, and
Yeah.
they'd edit it
A
out
bunch
or
of
whatever,
Star
just
Wars
to show them
movies.
just to show them where to look. But the thing is, you have to get the right reference to make it look like it belongs in that scene. You have to shoot a lot of reference for it. In Jurassic Park, I don't know of many movies with CG monsters in it where the monster looks like it belongs in the scene.
Mm-hmm.
And look at all that. We've had like 25 years of CG since then. Hardly anything fits and looks like it matches in the scene the way that movie does.
Yeah,
That's a very
literally all of them now are just a blank room.
A lot of them do that at night. They set the movie at night so that the monster, the CG, is going to be dark. If it's wrapped up in shadows, it's easier to make it look realistic.
How much?
So again,
how much do you
that
think
was
is
Jurassic Park? The first time you see those dinosaurs, it's during the daylight.
Yeah,
which is even more impressive.
Yeah,
One of the very first times you ever see anything like that.
The first time you see it, the first time there is a dinosaur, they don't show. They just show like light beams and shaking, which is a nice way to hype it. But how much do you think these days is like the unions being like, no, if you put a tennis ball on a stick, that's another $1,000 a minute.
That's why I imagine it's why every movie costs $100 million now. You can't make an indie movie anymore.
Yeah, now I just saw a thing where I think Hollywood, all of their movies combined last year was a $9 billion business. And it's like video games was up to like 140 billion or something, like
eating their
so
lunch.
far beyond now what Hollywood's putting out that it's becoming an unsustainable business. Pixar just had those layoffs. It's becoming unsustainable.
Yeah, Pixar. Very sad about Pixar, but I mean, they've been doing that to themselves. That's their own fault.
That's right.
Yeah, but video games are still on the way up because a small team of like 1 to 2 people can make a nuclear hit. What was some of the games? Helldivers was one of them, but there was a crewing squad.
Is not a small team.
No, Helldivers is gone now, but there was whatever that one where you're Pyrocynical. Pyrocynical does a video about some game that was made by 3 people, and the game.
Yeah, there's so many those Steam games. Great little fun indie games now. That's the future.
Steam's a great platform too. Steam is one of the best platforms.
They make $1 billion a month, basically. They could just be like, they don't even care. But I'm playing Shakedown Hawaii right now, which is probably made by 10 people. There's a few VR games I've tried that are made by 1 person, or sometimes 5, something like that. Although a lot of VR games are they're like tech demos. They're barely...
You use Oculus?
They're like
Oculus?
I have the Pico 4, which is like... It's better than the Oculus. I don't want to use anything made by Facebook. Facebook.
Yeah, but I know Palmer Luckey, who he made it before Facebook bought him. He made them. So true Oculus could never be developed by Facebook because Facebook sucks.
Yeah, I mean, if
they can buy it. They bought
him directly, sure, but
yeah, he's got a new Game Boy project out. I don't know if you've seen it. He's doing
we have a couple of handhelds actually.
He's got a Game Boy
Mini Plus.
He's got a Game Boy thing that he's coming out with that is amazing hardware, like just made to last a lifetime. The buttons and everything, and it still takes old color Game Boy games in the top.
Yeah, well, that's cool too. We got a couple of these portables. I have the R36S.
Yeah, we have emulators.
The Miu Mini Plus, which basically just runs like 50 different emulators, and it comes with 10,000 games, which is all of the NES games, all of the Super Nintendo games, all of the Genesis games.
Wow.
And it's just
it Neo
was like
Geo Turbo Graphics 16 and
a
the
bunch of arcade
PlayStation 1
games,
even.
a bunch of PlayStation 1 game. Yeah, it's great. It's insane.
My son is a big fan of the 3DS. He's in college now, and he and his friends they do all the kit bashing downloads.
Jailbreaking. Yeah, I had a 3DS, and so like one of my nephews was like, "Oh, I could jailbreak that," and I was like, "Just take it, go ahead. I don't care."
Yeah, because it was old at the time anyway.
Yeah,
we
so did jailbreak our Switch also, but I haven't played anything on it because, like, well, why would I now? I have either this handheld or I have Steam. Wonderful.
Yeah, I have Steam. I have a million games. I've got a backlog of stuff on Steam to do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why bother watching a movie? I'm watching Mad Men on a pirate site. Every single time.
Is that any good?
Not really. I mean, I skimmed through it. The most interesting stuff is the actual business.
Oh, yeah,
when they're talking about being in advertising.
Yeah, the design business is real. The design business is good and real, and that is cool.
That is the best stuff. And then when it's 2 people talking about their relationships, it's like, oh, who's cheating on who? I don't care. I just skim. I just want
to watch everyone smoke and have a drink in there.
If you have my brother has a rule: if there are 2 women talking at once on screen, fast forward.
It's a hard and fast rule, and it works great.
I did that when I crammed all of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. Anytime there was an establishing shot, I just fast forward because it was always like 2 minutes
it's
long.
usually just hangs and it's
very cinematic. I'm just like, as soon as dialogue started, then I'd start watching during the dialogue.
I love the show, but it kind of,
watched
especially
all of it, but some of it drags.
It was wonderful. I really was shocked at how, because everyone was talking about it by then. I was like a year late or
Better
two.
Call Saul, I thought was better than Breaking Bad, to be honest.
I thought it were both. They got me so hooked. But I watched both series. I think it took me 2 weeks each. I got all of them done in 2 weeks, and I loved it. I was like, this is the best writing and character ever.
Well, especially like Chuck McGill is like one of the weirdest, most tragic characters, but at the same time is like kind of satisfying to see him just get totally owned. Zone.
Yeah, McKeon, is that McKeon?
Yeah, Michael McKeon, who you may also remember from Airheads. He was the radio DJ at the station in Airheads.
Or also Spinal Tap, I guess.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Lenny and Squiggy. He was a profoundly good, weird, like you said, tragic, when he's all wrapped in the foil and you're just like, you want to save him. It's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, and it's Jimmy who's fucking actually doing something to help him, and with like almost no appreciation for it.
And then turns right around and basically kills him.
It does Jimmy actually does one of the most fucked up things ever that's not violent, is when he like takes the documents and just cuts the numbers to when
absolutely
he reverses
fraud. It's a very brutal relationship.
When he reverses the address, just so when they get to court, it gets mixed.
One after Magna Carta, as if I would ever forget.
Yeah, exactly. I love that line though. One after Magna Carta. It's like that is how I remember shit too. Usually.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I got to jump.
All right, it was a good stream.
We've been here for a while. I need a Chick-fil-A.
There is one last video I did want to play. It's only a minute long or something. I'm going to say it's a minute long and then it's 5 minutes. But there's this one. It's the other green text that nobody
New Orleans, Wizard World 2015. Be 18 and I want to go to the con bad. Find out I can volunteer and get in for free. One of the days I'm given artist alley duties. Keep spaces clean and manage flow of traffic. EVS asks me to come over. Starstruck, I say okay. He's doing a flash sketch and is showing me stuff. Tells me how great working in comics are. At one point he places his hand on my leg. I'm wearing shorts. Think it's nothing. Just laugh. Tells me he can help me out if I help him out. Says working in comics can be really fun. What the fuck is happening right now? Say thanks for everything and nope out. I can hear him say shut your mouth or something. Go back to what I was doing, scared out of my mind. So that was my story with EVS. When I hear that he's gay, it doesn't surprise me.
Naring is all over the page, and all of you talk. Get it taken down.
Someone is now having a very bad day.
Personally, I believe it.
I believe it.
100%,
1,000%. I believe it.
That was just an anonymous 4chan post. These are the actual DMs between Ethan and another guy. This is.
I don't know if they're DMs or if they're actually just Facebook posts. They just posted.
I think these were DMs. I think the guy said that these were DMs between him and Ethan.
And, this is a real person.
And Ethan did like cop to this. He was like, yeah, I knew this guy and I talked to him, but basically hoping no one would actually go look at him. But again, I used 11 Labs to make the voices. He
relies on his audience to never ever just hold him to any standard.
Yeah, again, that's the fans. The fans refuse to look into the truth. That's why we've always blamed the fans deservedly. But
I'm saying I don't think we have to. I don't have to dive in here to find dirt on Ethan. It's stuff he said, what he did in public. Same thing, by the way, with Nick Rekieta. It's like everyone's going like, we did some spy work.
Yeah,
and found out Nick Rekieta. He'd been on his show doing putting sexual toys on his face and talked about all this stuff and drunk on. He's done enough stuff in public. But the whole public's like,
said too,
they're applauding it and they're paying him for it, and then they're like, "Wait a minute."
Yeah, the Rekieta
they're comfortable with it.
A lot of the people
he's a drug addict. Now he crossed the line.
He's
just going,
alcoholic.
really now?
He's
an alcoholic.
He got drunk on stream.
And that's the other thing is I go like,
yes. We knew
he got busted for 25 grams over him. Going like, why does everyone act like this is the first drug addict they've ever met?
Yeah,
I'm going like,
especially on YouTube.
There's so many alcoholics and drug addicts and weirdos in my life that I have judged and just said, you're wrong, you're off. But everyone acts like Nick is the first drug addict that's a guy that's ever been busted. He's the first one they've met.
There are, unironically, like in the Illicit Clips comment section, there are people who are like, oh, it's disgusting what rekieta's like. And it's like, yeah, and a lot of other people he was friends with, from the YouTube, the leech tubers that he was friends with as well, are just like, there are other, he's by far not the only child abuser.
Ethan Ralph. Ethan Ralph is exactly that.
Not even,
Ethan
Ralph.
And every single person in the audience, every person in the audience, they're going like, hold on one second, I have to get off this posting crap about rekieta and Ethan Van Sciver even, and Eric July, because I have to go back to my barely legal OnlyFans account.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and then they feel all heroic in public, and I'm just going, when people get that witch hunty, I just go,
yeah, there's something.
Yeah, they're really celebratory of
themselves. Scenes with them too, of course,
pedestalizing themselves.
But they act like it's like Victorian. Where's your powdered wig and beauty mark and your little snuff box? They put the snuff. No,
fainting couch.
Well, especially years after we've been pointing at. We're like, here's.
I consider it to be bad for the medium.
There you go. That's all you
allowing
need.
These people to run around free is bad for the medium. I want comics to be about creating comics, not about drama, celebrity, lol cow, farming the cows for the lols.
We're not doing any of this for ad revenue or super chats. We're doing this just because we were some of the only, you would come on with us because we were the only people who ever talked about this.
We absolutely could.
And
I
refused
was
see it.
But do you guys think? Do you think you can? I have a saying: never try to change the internet.
Yeah,
is the internet as an enterprise a truth-telling, truth-seeking enterprise, or is it not? If you take a comic business and you put it on the internet, it's going to turn into this.
No, yeah, it's still it's the human nature of it. It's the internet just sort of magnifies the human nature of the innate desire to worship status. That's all
it's a more
about
battle.
Status worship.
We have a harder battle to do this.
Yeah, it's
the
just
way we do
high school shit. And the thing is, all we have said is we notice this. Here's something we notice, and people are like, no,
there's
bullshit.
A war on noticing.
Then, it's a war against noticing. And then a lot of the same people who said we're lying. In fact, that was one especially hilarious thing. It was I forgot if I mentioned that earlier, but Worski blocked me multiple times for saying to him what he himself now says. And it's like, again, it's all about when it's popular to say it, when it's okay to say it.
And he commented last night that he was upset because he was telling people for years that rekieta was a druggie and a drunk, and no one believed him.
And he's ripping us off. He's copying from us.
He's trying to pretend that he's us. That's Worski.
A lot of people do that. A whole lot of people do that.
I do know PPP was actually one of the people who was saying that stuff early. I remember because I remember his streams where he would go into
we told him.
Yeah. But I mean,
we told him over the phone. He told you.
we psychically told PPP the truth about rekieta, and psychically PPP accepted that into his mind. He internalized that as the
it was subliminal. Your ways went through the ether, through the bytes, through the algorithms. There's an algorithm
into the psychic zeitgeist.
Imprint on everyone else all your ideas.
Plate or shrimp or
What was
we
that?
know the problem. Yes.
From a Repo Man, where it's like you'll be thinking of. Or someone will say plate a shrimp, and then you're thinking of that.
Or you're thinking about a plate of shrimp, and then somebody will say it.
Yeah, basically. We're like
it's an X-Men power where you're right about everything, but you're a mystery man power. You're right about everything, but no one can know that it came from you.
The psychic zeitgeist, kind of like
ironically, yes. Not even joking. Yes, that. Also, who is that guy that one dude in the Bible who just got an Uber to heaven personally from God? Who's that guy?
Oh,
Not
Elijah or Enoch?
I think
Enoch?
I think it was either Elijah.
It was,
my brother was saying Job. It's like, no, Job did not get any
Job
of
It was
that.
not
Job.
get
It
assumed
was
into heaven.
Noah's dad Enoch. It said, and he walked with the Lord or something like that, and that's him getting caught up.
Just
I think
personally got the
supposedly-
chariot right up to heaven. That's what we're going to get, basically.
Maybe
That's
it's
my
Elijah.
point. We're going to get that.
I don't know OT,
That's
but
us.
well enough. All right, I'm going to go. God bless you guys.
Okay.
Bless you.
We'll see you next time. We'll play the rest of this
Hey,
video.
and thanks for having me on.
Another
To your audience,
brilliant
thanks
show.
for watching, and thanks for having me on.
Yeah,
We have the best
thank you,
shows.
Doug. Thanks for being on.
Thank you,
See ya.
Doug.
All right.
Thank
see
you,
ya.
Doug TenNapel. Okay.
Bye.
Yep.
Let's fire out of this.
I'm gonna play the rest of this video. That
You
is
do
again,
that. I'm gonna go.
The Alfie stuff. Okay.
I'm going to go. Then.
You'll
Oh, well,
have
let's
trouble,
let's listen to this actually.
Yeah, this is only like another minute and a half or 2 minutes tops. So here again. And by the way, the Alfie voice, the other voice is it's an AI recreation of Norm Macdonald's impersonation of Quentin Tarantino. So there's that, and then the original old from like
This actually goes back and
Ethan
forth.
Van Sciver voice.
This goes back and forth between the Ethan Van Sciver old school gay voice and then his angry voice.
Yeah, but here, and this video is on SWC Subscribe. It's just a backup channel for just storage, essentially. But here, I'll play this.
Apologize, Alfie. I know who did it. It's gone. I should have done that to begin with. I wasn't thinking carefully.
Now take down that message. Thanks for blaming me.
Okay, I'll take it down.
I'm super pissed. I feel like choking you.
Whoa.
So what, Alfie? So what? I love you, dude. Romantically.
Whoa.
You know that.
What?
You and I
Whoa.
can't be pals again? Buddies, if you will? I can't believe that.
I have a podcast of you fixated on me, leading a group of delusional creeps to bully me. You're the delusional one. I asked to be done with your bullshit months ago. I'm done. Leave me alone.
You'll be back to bother me later. You'll get a flyer from Pizza Hut that you don't like, and you'll think that I sent it to you. I implore you, leave me alone!
5 months later.
Alfred, I hope you're doing well.
Bernie Garcon shows up for a second there.
I just wanted to reach out and jerk you off. I mean, say hello.
Whoa,
And I hope you'll
what?
consider burying the hatchet that you were obviously never holding in the first place. Things have changed in both our lives, huh?
I love the
Signed,
8 months
Rethan
later.
Van Kryberg.
Yeah.
8 months later is sort of like the whatever. Just leave me alone with your stupid Bitcoin. 7 years later, hey,
Yeah, exactly.
hey, what's going on? This is exactly what's going on here. This is
Yeah.
It almost reads like a parody as a result of that.
Yes, as it should. That's the thing about Comicsgate, as we had shown. It's why Doug TenNapel, he loves coming on stream with us, and has for many, many years now, is that he saw us being pretty much the only people telling the truth about any of this shit. And
I don't see any
and
chat,
we
by the
weren't
way.
guessing. That's the thing, is that no, chat was going. It's just that I don't have it.
Well,
it's on the screen.
I'm on the StreamYard and I'm not seeing comments, so it must be in the YouTube.
Oh wait, comments? No, yeah, it doesn't show up. Well, no, I'm not streaming through StreamYard. I'm streaming through OBS.
Well,
It would show up on YouTube. Yeah, it's on the YouTube.
If it's on YouTube, I have no idea if there's any comments.
Yeah. But here, let me
back
play
to the
this.
video.
This is almost done.
6 weeks later.
Love you, buddy. And clearly not in a platonic way either, dude. It's been a while. How are you? I had some of that Chimay. Chimay Saint Cinquante is a strong blonde beer that is refreshing and fruity, tasty and intense. Yes, Ethan Van Sciver drank a literal fruity beer. Hope you were sitting down for that one.
Whoa. Goodness gracious.
Goodness gracious.
Goodness gracious. Anyways, okay.
Man, just I love piling on.
I do, yeah. Piling on, dog piling. Well, it sounds pretty cool. It's pretty.
It's
cool,
pretty
actually.
based. Obviously,
Based with the red
Andy
sauce pills.
Adam Race Worski
Yes.
is not very good at it.
No, we're better at it than he will ever be. In
We do a
million
better
years.
show. I wouldn't have him on.
The cocaine brain damaged him, so he'll never be good at streaming. Certainly not as good at.
It's
and I
the
don't even.
cocaine's
We
fault.
don't like streaming. We
Sure.
never have. We don't
Blame
even
the
like it.
cocaine.
We don't even like it, and we're still better. Here's the thing, though. PPP is the one who's actually good on that show.
Apparently, Adam Race Worski is the one with all the money, and PPP would have been homeless if not for the fact that he's paid to be on the
I
show.
understand that. Basically, yeah, PPP.
I absolutely, I can
get it.
absolutely accept that. I
Yes.
can accept that. I believe it.
But also, it's like how How miserable must that be sometimes? Where it's like,
well,
with the Opie equivalent of YouTube, it's or live streaming, whatever, because they're not.
Seems like YouTube has a lot of Opies.
Yeah, and I wouldn't tell anyone to not watch their streams. I know a lot of people. We're wonderful, delightful pals with several people who watch Kino Casino all the time.
I would tell people they should watch us instead.
I mean, here's the thing, though, is that they do a regular show. We don't. We just stream sometimes when we feel like it.
Well, no, I don't want to do streams.
Unannounced, off schedule.
Well, we do. We have a schedule where we upload videos that we've recorded ahead of time, and they're genius.
And
they're genius. They're genius. Genius. Which part?
What part? Yeah. It's too bad Doug missed out on. I know he would have appreciated that reference.
I was hoping he would have gotten the Big Lebowski reference, actually. Brant told me over the phone, and or you told Brant.
You told Brant.
And Brant told me.
What? It's just fucking. That is pretty obscure. We did just see that movie again on wonderful movie night every Sunday,
movie night
7:30 EST.
Movie night, which is always great. Every movie night was the last one. Planet of the Apes.
Oh yeah. Last one was Planet of the Apes, and which was the original one, and just wonderful.
Well, I only watched the first. I only watched Planet of the Apes, and then I played Resident Evil 4 remake.
Yeah, I actually cashed out on the second. Oh, that's right. The second movie was King Ralph, and apparently that was just okay.
What was the one where they were watching some movie? Where it's like, oh, I want to watch this dumb movie, and they just turned it off. Or it was Love Guru.
Yeah, that's right. That was for Garbage Day.
That was on Friday, I think, or something.
Yeah, that was off schedule.
And they voted to just turn it off.
Movie night's
great. The chat can vote to turn off a movie.
Oh, wonderful.
If they all hate it.
Yeah, if it's just terrible, and
it's like 20 people. We post the link in our Discord. If you're not in our Discord, you're never going to get it.
It's not exclusive to our Discord. It's from shitposter.world, which is a Fediverse node. So if you're on Fediverse, any Fediverse thing, like POAS, Mastodon.
It's not. We're not telling people that you can't come in, but at the same time, it's like
we don't run movie night.
If you don't pay attention, you're gonna miss out. You miss out if you're not part of it.
Small Penis World, is that what SPW stands for? The SP Bandit. It just makes me think of the SP Bandits from Small Dick Problems on the Cumtown bit. Classic.
My favorite.
That's where
my favorite Reddit.
They collectively got banned from Reddit forever because they just did an entire episode where they made fun of our small dick problems.
And our small dick problems, like, I'm only 4 inches. I'm going to kill myself. There's no point in going on. And it's like, okay, dipshit.
Okay, loser. You deserve
it. Micro dick. Mere 4 inches.
If somebody had a 2-inch dick and was like, my dick's fine. My dick is huge. It's 2 huge inches. I would have way more respect for them than anyone who's like, my dick is only 4 inches and I want to kill myself.
It's only 4 inches. I'd never be able to love a woman.
Yeah.
You're
like a woman is capable of love. What's wrong with you?
Don't you realize you're supposed to be measuring from the ball sack first?
You should measure from the base of your spine first.
Measure from the asshole first.
Asshole. Pardon my French. But you're an asshole.
But you're an asshole. Speaking of pardoning my French, let's go to Chick-fil-A.
Let's go to. I already went to Chick-fil-A.
Well, now I need Chick-fil-A or something.
The killer opening to. Hold on a second though. There's one other thing with Ethan Sneethening, if you will. Where is it though?
Sneethening.
Just fucking. Well, here's the. Oh yeah, no. I mean, this would just be the audio anyway, but I think it is funny. Oh wait, no. This one is.
Let's hear it.
Be able to hear this, but...
My name is Monica Willis. Shelley Coleman.
Ethan Van Sciver.
I am 50 years old. I'm 40 years old.
I'm 35 years old.
Well, I gained...
Listen to how gay he said. Well, I guess you can't hear it, but...
No, I can't hear it. In fact, I'm out.
Yeah, okay. I will wrap up this show. First of all, I want to give a big thanks to the people who do show up, people in the chat, people who watch, whatever. It's cool. It's wonderful. I do want to say also all the stuff we've been saying about fans and fandoms and Comicsgate refugees and rekieta refugees. I do want to give a special exemption to anyone who shows up and enjoys our videos, especially if you become PayPig. on our Subscribe Star. Our Subscribe Star is really where the regular schedule videos. We just pre-record a shitload of videos about anything we feel like talking about. It's really just a way to support us for having told the truth. But at the same time, we'll just post. We link the Subscribe Star videos to people who aren't even subscribed. It's not that important. I think the best way to support is to actually buy the comics, which, again, you can check out. They're all linked below. The Subscribe Star used to be linked below, and people flagged our accounts recently to get that link banned off of. It's blocked on a bunch of our old videos now, so it just it's just a blank space on the old videos. But if you go to the card link, you can get to that if you want to. I mean, it's not even priority. More importantly, than that is this game. I shouldn't have left it. I should have just left it sitting here because you don't collect money until time passes in the game. I don't know if there's a good safe space, if you will. Do I have money to buy things? Oh yeah, I can buy that. I'm just trying to wrap up this game. I've finished the campaign, but I want to buy all of the parts, all of the buildings in Hawaii. But aside from that, yeah, I do want to give just a nice happy thanks to the people who do support us, the people who have been listening. You've heeded our warnings. You listened. You are currently, if you're listening to this right now, you're part of the resistance, but also you are years ahead of all of these other streamers who just copy off of us, like Kino Casino and Null and everyone on Kiwi Farms. But there are a lot of people on Kiwi Farms who listen to our videos because you can listen, you can find out about it on our videos today, or you can hear about it on Kiwi Farms 5 years from now. It's we've noticed that is the average time span that everything we notice and point out and are correct about. It takes 5 years for it to finally trickle down to the under people, if you will, the inferiors. I believe, well, it wasn't Nietzsche who called them the Untermensch. I don't think he came up with that word specifically. It was based off of, you know, some of his cool ideas, of course. But the under people, if you will, the translation. You know, they will catch our scraps, our backwash, many years, sometimes 7 years later, sometimes 10 years later, sometimes never. A lot of cases where people just still don't catch on, even though, you know, all of the stuff is proven right. Like, again, if you had any idea about how many child abuse, you think Nick Rekieta is a child abuser, you have no idea. We have shown it. We've proven it. We've, did I do this one before? Yeah, who cares? But we've shown the receipts. Not only shown the receipts, but the people, you know, involved showed the receipts themselves. You know, again, like we said, not everyone wants to fake death threats against their children for clout. That means us. We don't want to fake death threats against our children or any family members or even ourselves for clout. But all the other people who did that, most of you out there, and by you I mean the people who aren't listening to us right now, the under people out there still don't know about that. You're still in the dark. But there are a lot of other child abusers out there who we've been pointing out for years. We've been proven right about. I'm looking for this place here. That's it. Oh no, I'm not even close. But yeah, Doug TenNapel knew about that. If I had brought that up, I was trying to bring it up, but there's so many things to talk about. We have so many thoughts in our head. Maybe too many sometimes, you know. You know how it is. Sometimes you have a million thoughts simultaneously, and you can only say a couple thousand of them at once. Very unfortunate. Wait, I got to repair this. There we go. But yeah, we've gone into that many times, and the fact is, ultimately, people don't want to listen because, again, it's the status thing. Oh, there is. Why did I skip this every time then? But yeah, people care more about status than the truth, and we've proven that. Wait a second, is it? It's supposed to be like a green barrel that will let you change your hair color to rainbow, not rainbow, but like this sort of neon, multicolor flash. And speaking of which, that's again a lot of other people involved. I thought it was funny. I do still listen to some of the Kino Casino clips, and it's shit. What am I doing? Right into the pit. Perfect. Nailed it. I meant to do that. But I thought it was funny. Another thing that Opsky mentioned is that he was talking about how Yellow Flash is a really good guy, and if that doesn't clue you in that, you know, most of these other streamers have no clue what they're talking about and are either disingenuous or just too stupid to tell the truth. That right there should show you. I mean, like, I don't even pay that much attention, but it's really easy to. All you have to do is just notice a single detail. That's why we were able to catch the rekieta stuff years in advance before anyone else did. And now they want to pretend to be us. They want to pretend that they're like us, where they act like they were saying this about rekieta, when I remember specifically all of them were covering up for rekieta or running interference or saying that rekieta was a good guy. Notice it always starts with this person or that streamer saying that a proven liar is a good person. Oh wait, here it is. Yes. There, I can get a sweet. Which one of these? No. Oh yeah, that one's good. This one's good. Oh, this is the Leon Kennedy hair. No. This is giving me a seizure. No. Okay. No, that's not good. No. No. Oh, the Carl Pretendnaluski. Oh, it's actually rocking a little harder now. This is Carl when he got that wig. This wig will turn you into a frozen clown. Yes. Yeah, wait, hey, can I change characters? Who the hell is this guy? Well, you know what? I'll give him a different Carl. And this guy, if I can just take the hat off eventually. I can take the hat off eventually. Wait a second. Now I can't tell which is which. Now I'll just go with that. Okay. So it was, yeah, thanks to people just hanging out. You're supporting the only honest people. By the way, I know some people would be like, oh, I'm just honest because you're not going to take money through YouTube. First of all, yes. But second of all, no. I do not have a problem with people making money on YouTube if they're just admitting that it's like, yeah, it's just a game. Or not even through YouTube. YouTube is the worst way to do it. Making money through Kick, I get that. That makes more sense because you're not going to cut it with the woke mob and that kind of stuff. That's basically my approach. You could say I stole that from Kino Casino. But yeah, the system of, I get, people making money, making a lot more money just from even pandering. As long as you're honest about it. As long as you're not, creating the illusion that, pretending you're winning the culture war by telling people what they want to hear. But we went over that. I think we went over that quite a lot, in fact. So, yeah, I do want to say big ups. Pat yourself on the back if you support us. And for, the people who do support us, good job listening to shitty webcomics. But for everyone else, including the people who, just take everything they claim to believe from us 5 years later, to those people, I can only say, should have listened to shitty webcomics.